Headliner Nation, Kyle back with the fantasy headliners, and ladies and gentlemen, we got to keep the what if train rolling. We got another episode here to talk about some what if scenarios that may happen in the NFL draft. The last video I did talked about Mac Jones, and did a video last week that talked about Kyle Pitts. What if? What if they fall here? What if they go here? Who are some other guys that could go? Trying to play out some different scenarios, all right? That's what we're doing with these videos. So we're kind of doing a mock draft, will you, of talking about different scenarios that can end up happening. So for the one person out there that complained about how the last video wasn't a mock draft, get over it. We're going to have some fun here. That's what these videos are about, ladies and gentlemen. And today's subject is my man, Mr. Justin Fields, who for some reason or another is not getting any love. A guy that was expected to be the QB2 in this draft since the season has ended has basically fallen down to anywhere from QB3 to QB4 and maybe even QB5. That's right. Some people are thinking that he's the QB5 in this draft, and I don't get it. I don't understand it, ladies and gentlemen, but let's jump into it and talk about some different scenarios that could happen with Justin Fields. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you subscribe as well. If you're new here to the Fantasy Headliners, stick around. We got some awesome content. And don't forget, draft night, we're going to be live right here on the Fantasy Headliners breaking down the first round with you. So make sure you got your TV with the draft on, and then you've also got your cell phone, laptop, tablet, whatever it may be, running the Fantasy Headliners. So let's hop into it and talk about some what-if scenarios with Justin Fields. Where do I think he's going to go? Well, it's San Francisco. Everyone keeps saying it's Mac Jones. And that's really kind of what the media is saying right now. I'm not buying it. I'm going San Francisco. I 100% feel like it's going to end up being them. Now, nobody was saying Mac Jones to San Francisco. Nobody at all was saying Mac Jones to San Francisco until San Francisco chose to go to Mac Jones's pro day over Justin Fields. And then when that happened, it was like a firestorm. Everybody at that point, well, we're hearing this. We are hearing that. It sounds like this is what's going to... Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say it again, and I've said it in a lot of videos. Kyle Shanahan has worked one-on-one with Justin Fields in multiple camps that Kyle Shanahan has been a part of. He did not need to go to a pro day to see Justin Fields up close and personal. He has seen him many times before. He chose to go to Mac Jones's pro day, who he hasn't seen up close before. And then he went to Justin Fields' second pro day. There was even a video of him and Justin Fields hanging out, laughing, having a good time there at the pro day. I still think Justin Fields goes here to San Francisco. I think he has everything that Kyle Shanahan wants and needs in a quarterback and would absolutely take this team to the next level. His pocket awareness, his ability to move in and out of the pocket, to step up, to get away from pressure. It'll also add a little bit of an element to the running game because now Justin Fields, they can throw in some RPO, some read things with this offense that like a Jimmy Garoppolo could not do, okay? Even like when Kyle Shanahan was with Atlanta and Matt Ryan, they couldn't do that there either. This would be just another little twist that the offensive genius that Kyle Shanahan is could add to his offense, and holy crap, could it go to the next level. I mean, we're talking about if San Francisco is healthy, we're talking about them being a Super Bowl contender again with Justin Fields at the helm. Absolutely love Justin Fields going number 3 overall to San Francisco. Now, if you watched my video that I did on Mac Jones previously to this one, I talked about some what-if things that could happen with Mac Jones as far as it goes to what if he doesn't go to San Francisco, okay? And personally, what I kind of said at that point was if Mac Jones doesn't go to San Francisco, I expect Mac Jones to start sliding. I do not expect that with Justin Fields. If Justin Fields does not go to San Francisco at number 3, you are going to see some craziness ensue at that point. Now, the first spot that he could go if San Francisco passes on him is obviously going to be the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I don't see the Atlanta Falcons drafting Justin Fields. Or I don't see the Atlanta Falcons drafting Mac Jones. I could see the Atlanta Falcons drafting Justin Fields. If this guy falls into their lap, the amount of upside that he has in his game, at that point they could say to themselves, ooh, all right, we don't need Justin Fields. We've got Matt Ryan. But Justin Fields could be the future of this organization, and then at that point you look at trading Matt Ryan later on. Now, is it the best move? I don't think so. I'm not for it. Could I see it happening? Yes, but there's a difference between I could see it happening and I think they should. There's that's two different scenarios, ladies and gentlemen. So don't construe that, okay? Justin Fields going to Atlanta, I could see it. Do I think Atlanta should draft Justin Fields? No. But this is where teams will start making that move, though. Because Atlanta has mentioned, hey, we could be interested in moving back. And I think the reason that they're staying put right now is because of a situation exactly like this. If Mac Jones goes to the 49ers, teams are going to go absolutely wild if Justin Fields falls to number 4 overall. That is why you're going to see some of the teams that I'm talking about next maybe potentially making that move. Now, the Bengals at number 5, not happening, okay? They're obviously not taking Fields. The Dolphins at number 6, not happening. They're not taking Justin Fields. What about 7th overall? The Detroit Lions, my Detroit Lions. Do I think they take Justin Fields? I would be okay with it. Now, here's the thing. Any other quarterback outside of Trevor Lawrence, I'm not on board with, okay? They've traded for Jared Goff, and it seems to me, based on comments that have been made, they want to move forward with him. They want to try and build around him potentially for the next couple of years. But Justin Fields is a guy that 100% can come in, sit for a year behind Jared Goff, and we heard about it this offseason that Jared Goff, there were teams interested in him. The Jets were interested in him. The Panthers were interested in him. The Washington football team was interested in him. There were all kinds of teams interested in Jared Goff. And I think that could be the same thing next year. Now, are they going to get, obviously Matthew Stafford was the biggest reason why they traded Jared Goff. Are they going to get that type of a return for him? No, but you can trade Jared Goff for maybe something similar to what the Panthers gave up for Sam Darnold. Maybe get a second and a couple thirds or something like that, and then you have Justin Fields take over. I could absolutely see that happening, because if Detroit looks at it and sees Justin Fields sitting here, then they go, oh, man, we've got some upside for our organization here. Now, if he gets to number 7 overall and Detroit's sitting there and Detroit doesn't want to take him, Detroit's moving back. That's where I think that's going to start happening, because the Falcons, I could see, okay, we're going to go with Kyle Pitts. And then the Bengals are going to say, okay, well, I'm going to go with Sewell, I'm going to go with Jamar Chase. Or the Dolphins, when it gets to them, who are they going to go with? Will Jamar Chase be going to them? So, or will it be Jalen Waddle? Do they go with an offensive lineman if Sewell falls? So those are the things that could end up happening here in that 4, 5, and 6 range. These picks are so important. And what the 49ers do at number 3 are very important as well. So if all that happens, and now Justin Fields is sitting at number 7 for the Lions, that's when you got some teams calling, saying, hey, I need to move up. Now, do the Panthers move up from number 8? I don't think so. They just gave up a pretty decent amount. I mean, nothing crazy, but they gave up a decent amount to get Sam Darnold. I think they're going to stick with that, and they're going to work with it. If the Lions decide to go with somebody else and Fields falls to 8, though, we've got another spot here where the Panthers can move back. A team that I definitely could see making the move up is the Broncos. The Broncos could absolutely make the move from 9 to 7 or possibly even 8. Okay? Yeah, it's only 1 or 2 spots, but here's the thing. They might be thinking to themselves, holy crap, Justin Fields is falling. This is the guy that we need for our offense. He is definitely a huge upgrade over Drew Lock. We got to get to 7 or we got to get to 8 just in case another team is trying to make the move. The Broncos aren't making that move to try and jump up in front of anyone. The Broncos are making that move to jump up and get that spot from somebody. And that's why the Broncos, even moving 1 or 2 spots, could have to give up quite a bit. The Broncos could also make that move up to number 4. If number 4 pops up, the Falcons are on the board. The Broncos are the first team that I could see making that move, because now the Falcons are moving from 4 to 9. That's not that big of a deal for the Falcons. That's not that far of a fall. And for the Broncos, they probably don't have to give up nearly as much as, say, the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots are the next team. The Cowboys I don't see making a move, obviously. The Giants aren't going to make a move. The Eagles would be absolutely stupid to make a move. The Chargers aren't going to make a move. Maybe the Vikings decide that they want to try and make a move, but they've got Kirk Cousins. They've got a roster that's a little bit closer to winning. I think they believe so. So they're going to try to put things around him. So then the Patriots at 15, that's where, okay, Patriots at 15 are not going to be able to get up to 4 probably. But the Patriots at 15 could potentially get up to 7 or 8. And again, talked about this on my Mac Jones video as well. It might only seem like a few picks, ladies and gentlemen. It's less than 10 picks for them to get to 7 or 8. But there might be some guys on the Lions and Panthers draft board that they're like, man, we can't move that far back. And then that's where like the Broncos would come into play. So the Patriots moving up to 4, no. The Broncos moving from 9 to 4, yes. The Patriots from moving from 15 to 7 or 8, yes. That makes things a whole lot easier for the Patriots. And I'm going to tell you right now, if Justin Fields makes it past pick number 6, then the New England Patriots need to be on the phone offering up whatever in the world they can to get to number 7. Don't let the Broncos do it. Don't let these other 2 teams that we're going to talk about do it. Don't let the Lions pick Justin Fields. You call them and you say, this is what we've got to do. Let's go do it. Let's go get him. Justin Fields is exactly what you are going to need. And honestly, Justin Fields has a game that's similar to Cam Newton. He is a guy that he could learn from, pick his brain, grow behind for a year if that's what you want to do, even if it's a few games. Honestly, Justin Fields comes in and looks good. Maybe he starts week 1. Maybe they don't even let Cam Newton see the starting position there. Who knows? Now, some teams that are going to be much more tough to try and get up. The Washington football team, talked about them with Mac Jones. Trying to get from 19 up to a 7, 8, or 9 is going to be really, really tough. Again, we're talking about just about 10 picks here. But unless the Lions and the Panthers have someone sitting all the way back here that they're like, we've got a really good draft grade on this guy, probably going to fall a little bit. We're going to get a ton of extra picks. If Washington goes crazy and offers some future first, if they give up a huge offer, trying to get from 19 all the way to 4 is going to be really, really tough. They're going to have to sell the organization for the next couple of years. And Ron Rivera doesn't strike me as that type of guy. He doesn't strike me as that guy that's going to be like, oh, as a head coach, yeah, I'm good. Let's give up all these draft picks. We'll figure the rest of it out. I'm not seeing that with Washington. Chicago, potentially. Also talked about this one on the Mac Jones video a little bit with the Chicago Bears. You know, they made a move a few years back to come up and get Mitchell Trubisky over a Deshaun Watson and a Patrick Mahomes. And I believe if you talk to a lot of different analysts, they would have agreed with the fact that Mahomes and Watson had a much higher upside than what Trubisky did, but Trubisky may have been viewed as more of a safe pick by some people. Okay, now the Chicago might be thinking, we made that mistake. We're not going to make the mistake again of letting a big armed quarterback with the type of upside that Justin Fields has getting away. Now, getting up from 20 to 4 is going to be damn near impossible. I don't see that happening. Getting from 20 to 7, 8, or 9 becomes a little bit more realistic, but I'm going to tell you what. They are going to have one huge package, okay? That's what she said. That's going to have to be given up. That I'm not loving. That I do not love. That worries me that Chicago is going to have to give up way too much. Now, they do have number 52 overall in the second round that they could end up trading. And then they have 84 in the third round as well. They don't have any comp picks that they could give up. Fourth round, you're looking at what they have there in the fourth round. And they don't have they don't have a fourth round pick. When I say that, let me clarify. They don't have a fourth round pick. So when you're looking at the fourth round, there's nothing there for them. So at that point, what are we looking at in 2022? What are we looking at in 2023? Are they giving up a 1 and a 2 this year and a 1 the next 2 years? Are they giving up, 3 1s and 2 2s? Like, they would have to do something crazy like that to be able to get that high to get Justin Fields. It wouldn't shock me, though, if they saw him sitting there and sliding and all of a sudden they're like, okay, we got to get on the phone. We got to go after him. We got to get this done. 100%. I could see something like that happening. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another what-if scenario. What if Justin Fields starts to slide? If he doesn't end up going to the 49ers at pick 3, what starts to happen? Okay, and we've talked about it with everyone else. If Justin Fields goes at number 3, what happens with Mac Jones? I think Mac Jones has the potential to slide further than what Justin Fields does. And if that happens, there's going to be teams that will give up, will still want to come up and get Mac Jones, but they wouldn't be willing to give up more for Mac Jones than they would be for Justin Fields. That's why the Justin Fields sliding thing is so, it's an odd situation because I don't understand, based on all the work that we've seen from him, why all of a sudden over the last few months we've said Zach Wilson's better, Mac Jones is better, Trey Lance is better. I don't get it. I think they're all going to be good quarterbacks. I think this could end up being one of the best quarterback classes that we see in a long, long time. I think all 5 of these guys can be good NFL starting quarterbacks. Justin Fields is still my QB2. I think he has so much upside and so much potential that a team would be crazy not to want him. And that's why I think teams would be willing to give more to get him. So if Mac Jones does go number 3, teams are going to be fighting to get up and get Justin Fields. If Fields goes at 3 and Jones falls, I don't think teams are going to be nearly as excited to try and get up there, which means we're not going to see that type of a crazy trade that might ensue at like that 4 spot or that 6 or that 7, 8, 9 spot. But again, there's just some different scenarios and things that could play out on draft night. And don't forget, make sure you're here on draft night hanging out with us. We're going to be live streaming the entire thing and breaking it down. Make sure before you take off from this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Justin Fields. Where does he go? Do you think he's going at number 3 overall? If he doesn't, who is? And where does Justin Fields end up going? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. All of you stay safe and healthy, and I'll catch you on the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.